There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who were in all communities, including minority communities.
The chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, an important guy, Jason Smith, joins me now. Congressman, is that accurate that the economy was decimated when Biden took over?
Once again, Biden's not being factual. When Biden took over as president of the United States, inflation was 1.4%, Stuart. And then in his first 3 months in office, they ran through the Democrat House, the Democrat Senate, and then himself ran through the $2 trillion American Rescue Plan spending bill. And from that point on, we saw inflation be on jet fuel, and it has gone up 20.1% since that moment. But inflation was 1.4% when he took over. And guess what? The reason why it went up 20.1%, Stuart, is because when Democrats controlled the House, the White House, and the Senate, they spent more than $10 trillion of money in 2 years. 10 trillion, and that has been jet fuel, and that is why every American that's watching this is paying more to put food on their table, clothes on their backs, and gasoline in their cars.
But Biden did say last night in the debate that it was Trump who decimated the economy. I take issue with that. I think it was the pandemic that decimated the economy. What say you?
It was absolutely the pandemic. Everything shut down. But think about it. When the pandemic happened, it was in the last year of President Trump's presidency. He also created the vaccine during that time in record amounts. It's absolutely amazing how he handled that situation. Unfortunately, that was not the case with President Biden. And in fact, everyone that you ask today, the best question would be, are you better off today than what you were 4 years ago? And every American will tell you that they were better off 4 years ago. That's why Donald Trump will be reelected president of the United States.
Congressman, Biden says that Trump's $5 trillion tax cut over the next 10 years is going to bankrupt the country. Watch this.
He somehow helped the middle class. Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You had the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are at the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Quick reaction, please, Congressman. What happens if the tax cuts are indeed fully repealed?
If the tax cuts are fully repealed, which President Biden is wishing to do, to increase taxes $7 trillion, that will bankrupt all Americans, not the country. It will cause every American to face more in taxes. That's unacceptable. We need to continue with the pro-growth tax policies that help increase wages for working class Americans. That's why President Trump has even suggested eliminating taxes on tips, is because we are the party of working class, and that's who we're fighting for.
Now, good politics. Jason Smith, thanks very much for joining us, sir. Always appreciated. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Stuart.